was 2, maybe 3 days after we left the former settlement when I noticed the druidess was behaving strangely. Granted, I had only known her for a few days and those had been far from normal, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I caught her staring off into the middle distance sometimes. Other times she seemed to be searching for something in our surroundings, but her answers were vague. Something about this place was familiar to her, but she could not place it, she said. I didn't entirely buy that. She knew this place and knew what she was looking for, but she wasn't sure if it was still there. I didn't push, but I did keep an eye on her as we went. When she started asking questions again of what we would do if there was no war, I couldn't help but wondering what she was getting at. Then we came upon the signs of ruins, and I realized this must have been what the druidess was looking for.
What do you think this used to be?
Good question. Better question, how did we never find this place? We've been all over these woods looking for relics.
That is a good question.
Some places cannot be found until the time is right, and then only by those who need to find it.
Is this what you've been looking for?
Something that has remained untouched for this long may contain something useful inside. Perhaps we should go investigate.
This is no time for a treasure hunt. We need to get moving.
Indeed. I think I hear a storm approaching.
The second she said the word storm, I felt a shift in the air and caught the faintest scent of rain. Which was odd, because before that moment, I had seen no sign of coming storm. The chill in the air was different too. Even now, all these years later, I cannot find the words to describe how I knew, beyond instinct telling me, this was no normal storm. I tried to keep us moving, but when we came in sight of the ancient stone doorway, the wind picked up. To say I didn't want to enter this strange building was an understatement. From the outside, it appeared to be some kind of temple, located in a place in the woods where I knew for certain there were no such structures, or at least I thought I knew. Something was, if not wrong, then at least out of place, and I was not ready to face it. But the door was open, and as the sky burst open, I knew trying to travel farther would be useless. A group like ours would end up hopelessly scattered in the storm, becoming lost and likely injured. Even if we were lucky and managed to stay together, illness was another concern we did not have time to deal with. Looking at the druidess, I knew this was something she had planned, and I knew I had no other choice but to play along.
Where did that storm come from?
Where indeed?
I did not take my eyes off the druidess as she stood in the doorway. There was something undeniably different about her. Something I had caught glimpses of over the previous days was not in hiding anymore. At least not from me. A presence both ancient and new, changed somehow by its existence within the druidess. It was power, but I did not sense any malevolence. The others could not see as I did because they did not have the same darkness in their veins, but from the change in Sam's posture, I knew he could sense something. James may not have noticed her change, but he caught our reaction. I gestured for them both to stand down. Why exactly have you brought us here?
To be safe from the rain, of course.
Yes, and it's very dry. But why here specifically? What do you want?
I want the same thing you want, to bring an end to this war.
And Is there something in here that will help with that?
I cannot say for certain what I expect to find beyond the fact I believe it's here. You do not have to venture with me if you do not wish to do so. Entering such a place is not a decision to be taken lightly.
Sam looked at me, as if awaiting confirmation before he responded. The way she danced around the truth while laying much of it bare had me intrigued nearly as much as this place we found ourselves in. It was a large space, wholly unremarkable save for the fact it was in pristine condition for something so old. There may once have been writings on the walls, but that had long since faded with age, worn smooth by time. May have even been older than the war. Created in a time where there was less bloodshed and more focus on building things of beauty and substance to preserve and not destroy. Who knew what secrets and treasures lay deeper within the temple? Pieces of history so carefully preserved and so long forgotten that now lay in the path of a coming storm the likes of which could end this world. We had a chance to recover and record much before we fled, taking it with us to a place where it could be saved and spread amongst the people it may once have belonged to. The report could prove very helpful while we rebuilt our lives. Again, I nodded.
We'll go with you. We'll see what we can record and recover. This place could end up being on the warpath. Be ashamed to see it fall with no one knowing what's inside.
I appreciate your kindness and your candor. I promise it will not delay our journey much, and it's very important.
Let's take a moment to catch our breath, eat something, and give our clothes some time to dry off. Then, we go through the doorway. You have been listening to Ceasefire, the story of the end of a war that did not end the world. This story was written and produced by Brianna Jean as part of Pseudonym Social, a creative podcast network changing reality one story at a time. In this episode, you can hear the voices of Brianna Jean as Vivian, Zadkiel Vasky Huff as Sam, David Telstra as James, Jordan Marie as the druidess. You can support all of our productions over at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial. To get more information on this or any of our other shows, check out our website at pseudonymsocial.com.